Welcome to another episode of the Sacred Roots podcast. I am so excited that you are tuning in today because we have Ida Rsi Wisesanatha with us. And Ida Rsi Wisesanatha is a Balinese High Priest that I was incredibly lucky and blessed to meet last year and have worked with for a few ceremonies and a retreat that I have learned from. And I've had such powerful experiences that I thought you all need to meet him and his wisdom and his teaching. Welcome, Ida Rsi Wisesanatha.
Good morning. Good day. Om Swastiastu.
Om
How are
Swastiastu.
you, LA?
I am doing great. I am so happy that we are recording this. We had a little bit of a last minute check in with the time because we are 16 hours apart,
Yeah,
literally on the other side of the world. But thank you so much for
yeah.
making this space in your busy calendar for talking with me and sharing all of your teachings with us.
I have time for this time because this is a holiday season.
Oh yeah, it's true. You're on
Busy
holidays too.
for holiday. Yeah.
But you are never really on holidays either, I see.
Not this in particular.
Not really.
Being a high priest, it depends on people. I
Mm-hmm.
have my routine, but what
Yes.
we are doing is service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's depend.
So why don't you explain, please, to our listeners, what is a Balinese high priest exactly? What is your role? What are your responsibility? And what do you devote your life to?
Yeah, uh, a very basic, fundamental question. Uh, yeah, Om Swastiastu one more time. That is our greeting. Um, High priest is a priest that higher than a regular priest. That's why they
Mm-hmm.
call it high priest. Yeah. In our language, we are called sulinge.
Mm-hmm.
Linge is place. Su is high or good place. So it has two meaning. High place, put in a high place by the community, and then also a good place for the light to connect.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be little bit hidden meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, from my side, I think more to that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the existence of the Sulinge or the high priest in Bali is, yes, it is very well respected because it is in the community. We lead the ceremony because Balinese Hindu uh, have a lot of ceremony. Ceremony start when they are born. Oh, sorry, when mothers in the pregnancy.
Mm-hmm. When the baby's in the
Uh,
womb.
yeah, in the womb. It's when the pregnancy at the 6 months or 210 days. That
Mm-hmm.
is uh, the ceremony is given to the mother, especially for the baby. Yes. The baby considered the embryo is considered already perfect,
Mm-hmm.
being a baby and ready for delivery. And after that, several when the baby is born, several ceremony to welcome the baby, and then there is a ceremony when the people become teenager. When they become teenager, there is a tooth piling ceremony, and then when they get married, another. I think this is the biggest one.
Yeah.
And then every 6 months, also ceremony, and also when people die for the cremation. And and surely it's not all high priests will lead the ceremony for this, because there are also priests.
Mhm.
High priests will handle a higher caliber of ceremony.
Mhm.
So the ceremony can be divided mainly in three layers, three level of ceremony.
Mhm.
So the highest level, or high priest can reach also the middle level if there is a special request or because of the situation requires
Mhm.
so the high priest will handle that. So the high priest basically work with the priest also.
Mhm.
Priest can handle it, it's very much depend. And there are ceremonies which only high priest can handle. So
Mm.
one and there are ceremonies for the deities, for the god, and there are ceremonies for the ancestors. So can you
Mhm.
imagine? Maybe you can imagine 36.5% of the Balinese spend for ceremonies. You can imagine.
Yep.
That is one of the role of the high priest to lead the ceremony. And second one, high priests uh, are invited to give Dharma talk.
Mhm.
To give Dharma talk, so they are invited to the community, to a group of people to give Dharma talk.
Mhm. So you have
And
a role
then
as a teacher as well.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, and then since the high priest position in the community consider as the elderly, so people will come from time to time if they have, or if the community or family or individual has problem. If they would like to have uh, the wisdom out of something, out of the problem that they have.
Mhm.
And another role beside high priests also need to develop themselves, need
Mhm.
to traveling, to visit temple, to do pilgrimage in general. High priest also doing what's so called sang petitan, to do water purification.
Mm.
Water purification.
Yep.
Uh, the water purification to do
Yep.
cleansing for the soul. Yeah.
Yep.
I
And
think
so
in
you
general is that.
Yep. And so that water purification, is it the melukat, the ceremony that we did together, or is that
Yeah, you
another?
know the word. Yeah, that is the tradition. Look at
Yeah.
the water purification. Purification using water which has been blessed by
Yeah.
the high priest.
Yeah. That is a really, really beautiful
Yeah.
ceremony. Maybe we can talk about that too as well. But we have so
Okay.
many things to cover in this podcast. I wanted you to share a little bit of your journey because as Westerners, I think that we expect that the path to becoming a high priest is quite clear. But when I learned about your journey, I realized, oh, it wasn't maybe as clear as that. It kind of happened to you, quote unquote, in the sense that, yes, maybe you
Yeah.
can just share the story because it's very interesting.
Traditionally, high priest is uh, from the lineage. If their
Mm,
parents are high priests, then one of the children, if they do have children, if they don't have children, it can be passed to the brother or sister.
mm,
So it's through the lines.
okay.
So I'm not from the lines directly. My parents is not a high priest,
Hmm.
but my journey, surely I never dreamt to be a high priest, and especially maybe 99.9% Balinese don't want to be a high priest.
Because of the responsibilities?
Responsibility, and then materially they are very controlled. They don't have access to that like the perspective of businessman. And surely the control on from the material world, So from the perspective of the non-high priest, they will see that it's just they don't like it.
Mm.
So when they become a high priest, when I become high priest, I do understand this is the journey whoever cannot avoid. When
Yeah.
your evolution level uh, reach that position and your role, you have to do that role, then just cannot avoid it.
You can't avoid it. No.
Yeah. I used to be a businessman. I was a
Mhm.
businessman. I was a businessman. I work in the hospitality business. But I turned spiritual from the year of 2000. And then that time I did understood why I love to do meditation from 1981 when I was 17 years old. So I got the reason. I do understand the idea why I love doing the meditation, because in my surrounding, very rare people in that age to do meditation, and
Mhm.
also quite rare for the the matured or for the adult to do it. That kind of
Mhm.
meditation, to do to the temple, to do prayers the way the Hindu do the prayers, the generic prayers. And surely, almost all the Hindus doing that, because that is the religion practice. But to do an intensive meditation, rare, even for the adult, it's rare.
Mhm.
And then I was attracted to do that. My grandfather did it. In the family, in the big family, only my grandfather did it. And
Mhm.
then when I was 17, I just feel interested to follow my grandfather. And then after I joined the meditation, and then I explained about how important to do the meditation to the big family, and then the big family joined the meditation after I joined. So it's very funny actually. The
Yeah.
little boy, who is 17 years old, promote the meditation to the big family, and then the whole big family join the meditation.
Yeah. You were their spiritual teacher already.
Yeah, without I realized about that. And then at the, on the in the year of 2000, I became more spiritual, more specific, more unseen, really touch the spirit
Mm.
and connect to the deities and understand a little bit on the God kingdom, the structure of the unseen world,
Mhm.
and start to be excited with that,
Mm.
and 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 surely to learn deeper about what is the concept of life, the
Mhm.
purpose of life, and what is human on top of the existing science.
Mhm.
And then um, communicating with the deities, communicating with uh, the ancestor, doing the work based on their guidance, their instruction. And then
So in
from
your
the year,
business, as a businessman,
yeah,
you're using your
my yeah,
spirituality.
I'm busy, yeah, doing the business using the spirituality. The
Interesting.
business ethic, the honesty is actually based on the
Yeah.
why we have to be honest. No, we are honest, not just for the profitability, but we are honest because that is the principle of life. That's
Mhm.
base the whole system. If we are not honest, then the whole system will be dismantled. So I was so happy to be spiritual, to be businessman, and then especially my career was quite good, quite good. And then on the year of 2015, I was asked by the ancestor to be spiritual guru. And then it happened because several people, my friends, the one that I know, came and they were in trance and then called me guru. And then, what is this? I said, no, please, I'm not spiritual guru. I'm your friend, you know. No, you are my guru in trance, you know. Oh, what is this?
And that was in a temple. You were in a temple when that happened, right?
No, that was in the office.
Oh.
But I said, no. And then I spoke to the ancestor. No, I'm not ready to be spiritual guru. Come on, I'm a businessman. And then was eventually it was announced in the temple in front of many people. Then I take it. I took it. Okay.
So what happens for people to understand is that, from my understanding, you were, after that event in the office, you were in the temple with a lot of people, and someone in trance again said, you need to be a high priest, you are a spiritual guru.
One of my friend was in trance and then embodying one of the ancestor and then telling everybody that he's spiritual guru. Maybe several didn't like it, and then several friends take it. But for me, I took it as an instruction. But surely it's not something which I use. Okay, I'm spiritual guru. I announce I will charge you this much, this month. No. I just quiet and stay. Just do everything as usual. You know, I didn't make any announcement that I'm spiritual guru. But the student just come like that. Start from 2015. They came in trance. They came because they had problems, and I can solve the problem. And then mostly of my student, which is not many, until now I have only 60 students internationally and also the Indonesian. And then the interesting one is, for example, the Indonesian, because the foreign student I have only since 2017.
Yeah.
Sorry, from 2019. And then the Indonesian student is from 2015. And then they are not from Hindu background. So that is interesting and to be observed at the beginning. What happened? Because I'm a Hindu priest, and then suddenly the student came in the process through the trance, through dreams, through they listen to the voice which they believe, and then really I cannot refuse such process.
Yeah.
And then they are coming from different background, not only Hindu. So
yeah. And so you had this experience in the temple where they said you are the spiritual guru. You started to have people coming to you, students, people asking for your help, and you started doing your priest and then high priest training at the same time.
Yes. I start to realize that I have to go to the substance, not teaching the tradition, not doing the thing traditionally. And then I became more realized that I have to really go to the substance. I have to be able to see the substance beside the form outside, beside the tradition. I have to understand the substance, so I can deal with every different culture or different background who I have. I have Muslim background student, Buddhism, Christian, so I have to give them something about what we need as a human,
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
talking about the tradition. So
Yeah.
that's drove me, that thing drive me until now, to be interested to see what we have in common.
Hmm. And that's been
So, and
really
then
interesting.
from
Sorry.
2 years, sorry,
Keep
from
going. Keep going.
2 years ago, the international student came. They come first, Asril, and then sorry, before Asril, there was another Kiara, and then after that, boom, 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 until total of 30 now, 30 students.
Yep.
And the funny one, they are all almost done, almost done. And then, like LA, for example, your spiritual level is quite high, and you are very developed. And
Thank
then
you.
their position is in average is like you.
Mhm.
Some below you, and then they have the potential. What I mean is they do have the potential. They are almost all of them already open. They experience the awakening. What they didn't have, they just didn't understand the concept. What is this? They ask if I'm crazy or what happened with me, because several of them were brought to the hospital, Satish
Mm.
hospital, and then they were really cornered by community because they think they are crazy because of the awakening process situation they
Absolutely.
experience.
Yeah.
So luckily, from that process, from the year 2015, luckily I am able to identify the situation, and then through the God guidance, we can work it out, and then
Yeah.
now all of them become a community in mission. We become a big family. I call them not student but putra dharma.
Mm-hmm.
Putra dharma means putra means children, dharma means dharma, truth,
Mm.
the
Children in
truth.
purpose.
So yeah, the children in purpose of the truth.
Yeah.
So we work together to do service, to do community work, social work, and then to do whatever the instruction given by our ancestors, by the deities, by God, to serve the earth and the universe, whatever. Sometimes
Mhm.
there were strange things which we don't know. Surely we don't know because we don't know a lot of things
The
if we
more
are
we
talking
know,
about
the
this.
more we realize we know nothing.
Yeah, that is the best. I mean, a better expression.
So, what I found really interesting when I met you is that we have this expectation that a Balinese high priest is going to teach us about Balinese spirituality. But just like you said, you did your training as a priest and then as a high priest, but you also decided to go through the substance, through the source, and really understanding what does it mean to be human, to have this human experience as a soul. And so your teachings are really universal. They apply to every single being on this planet. Can you share a little bit about how those teachings came to you and if there is a difference between those teachings and Balinese spirituality, or if there's a bridge? And I mean, I can already see that there is a bridge, but I'm going to let you explain.
Uh, I I find there is no difference.
Mm,
Only the way package it, the way we
mm,
say it different.
yeah, yeah.
Because Hindu is teaching about life with a clear purpose, with a clear knowing what we are, where we are coming from, with a clear of knowing what we don't know also. Then we have always the motivation wanting to learn. So we never let ourselves to stay in the dark. to stay in the position of we are we don't know what we don't know. That is the darkest position in our mind. So that's why the main chanting that we have is Gayatri mantra,
Mm-hmm.
to acknowledge that God created everything, although we don't know and see what is God as what we want to be called to knowing, but the existence of the life itself, if we want to analyze, even with a simple way, there is something. If you don't agree that I call that substance is God, you may call the one, you may call the source, you may call whatever. You know, it's not important. The call, you call Allah, you call whatever. It's not important. Even in the Buddhism, they don't call specifically, and then they don't want to talk about God. That is more extreme,
Absolutely.
because the
Yeah.
most important one is you experience. That is not important. The most important is you. How to make sure you are happy and you understand, because you
Mm.
will never be happy if you don't understand. So
Mm.
that is one package, right? To understand and to be happy.
I love
So if
that.
you
So true.
understand, then then okay, then the smile is there. When you smile, then okay, God is smile to you. It's not. That's why if we see now on earth, why the people who are atheists also have a good life. Apostrophe, okay, apostrophe good. They have the welfare. And why people who talk about God loudly, loud, and God is everything, religion is everything, why they don't have a good life? And that actually, if you use this, the one given by God, you have to use it. If you don't use it, then you never think, you know.
For those who are listening, Idaresi is pointing to his head. So he's talking about your mind, your intelligence.
Use your intelligence. If you don't use your intelligence, just dogma, and then you are a robot.
Yeah.
Then you don't think. We think they know, but actually all memorize, all tradition without think. They look in queue, they're standing on queue. Oh, they are very disciplined. They don't know, they just follow, because that is the tradition, that is the law. So it can be a dogma.
Mm-hmm.
So so the tradition in Bali is the setup which we agree in a Balinese way, in a Balinese language, in a Balinese way, which should to us. If we eat using hand, and then you eat using fork and knife. So it is not different from my side. The most important is you eat. So that is something for your you feed yourself. That is the the, the substance.
Yep.
So luckily, I have the awareness from the year of 2000. So I have to focus to develop myself to see the substance,
Mm.
not only studying about the tradition, which
Mm.
I cannot also ignore, because I am the high priest of the tradition. So I have to
Mm-hmm.
respect my tradition. Tradition is identity. So I have to be
Mm-hmm.
able to to see what's behind the tradition, why this tradition is created. If the question, if all the tradition is good and perfect, no. Surely it's depend on the level of the intelligence of the collective people that, I mean, then in that particular time. If the tradition can be changed, yes, but careful to change. We have to understand the substance first before we change the tradition. So there is
Absolutely.
a challenge. Make sure you do understand the substance behind the tradition. Then you may change based on the level of the intelligence, level of the situation now in Bali or in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's answer the question.
Thank you. Yes. This leads me to my next question, which is these teachings that are really about the substance of life, the substance of the soul. You teach about the anatomy of the soul and how we can truly find enlightenment. How do you think these teachings can change our lives? You've already talked about it a little bit, but I would love for you to talk about it more. For people who are curious about spirituality and who would learn your teachings and who are at the beginning or at the middle of their spiritual journey and have awakened, how could it really change their life?
The key word here is change.
Mm,
Um, Whatever we are doing, change will always happen.
mm,
That is the key of the evolution. That is the key of life. God is the highest guru and the truest guru. So we are only God's hands or God disciple. So the universe is the teaching ground. Universe is just like a university. All spirit who exist on the universe with their role, with their situation, are actually attending the university. So there is a law, there is an energy, there is a setup. Then there are deities who work as a principal, who work as a dean. So the system is so neat without we can imagine, neater than human brain can imagine,
mm,
more complex than human can imagine. So having that known, because I found like that the structure of the kingdom. I know I'm just one of the one of the dots in the universe in doing my role to explain about what we have, what we are doing, what we are learning. Because everybody, if they are following their nature, they are following their evolution, they will learn. They will learn. If they don't want to learn, they will be forced to learn.
yes.
A big hammer will come to force them to
Yes,
learn.
that's called karma.
They will. So my position is just to add, to help, to assist, because being an elderly and older, more senior, and knowing more in advance to help them to understand it. I think that is my position. As simple as that, nothing more than that.
Mm. You teach also a lot about, and really the retreats that you organize are all about supporting us merge with our soul. And can you expand a little bit about what does that actually mean to merge with your soul? And what happens when you do?
Oh, you scare the people who want to attend the retreat. Marvelous. Ele.
I don't
Well,
think I'm scaring
actually,
them. I'm just telling them what they can expect.
actually, in that retreat, actually, I didn't plan to create that retreat myself.
Hmm.
Our student uh, requested to have the retreat to be done, and then they
Hmm.
requested me if I could share more than only to the student, to the Putra Dharma. I said, okay, that can be a good idea, because I have to be careful, because the teaching style is uh, quite spiritual in one. When you talk about the soul merging. So we are focused to as a priority, because time is limited. Uh, Ida Rsi Wisesanatha, my wife, and I only the one coach that we have in the community. So we prioritize to those who are in the process of, who experience in the process of awakening. So they are the segment which we prioritize, not the public in general, but those who are confused, who are seeking the meaning of life, the purpose of life, who are in a position not in a comfort or convenient situation because they experience something which they don't understand in their life. So those we invited, those who we invite to come to our retreat, and then we name our retreat Soul School Retreat. You know, to
Mhm.
to put little bit to draw the attention of the people who are keen or who wanting to know more to their spirit, to their soul.
Mhm. Mhm.
Not talking about mind, not to talk about psychology in general, but more to the soul. But
Mhm.
actually, as you experience, the teaching is very simple, right?
Mhm.
Because I really want, because I know that many people are already quite educated, know a lot, but in that retreat, I put the thing really simple, and I really check, review the structure of the understanding. If they do really understand what they have in their mind, and then I suggest we review together and we evaluate, and then to check which one is correct, which one is not correct, and then from there at the retreat we commit to keep checking what we do understand, and we reconstruct it, we deconstruct it. So the 5 days retreat is not enough, and then we becoming something on the 5 days, but 5 days is more to build a new commitment, to build a new commitment after knowing, after our understanding is reconstructed, then a
Mhm.
new commitment, a new energy coming, and then you will have, after the retreat, you will have a new motivation in life. At least you know that which way should be done, which way I have to walk on to make sure I will be happy in this life. At least you know the
Absolutely.
way. Yeah. At least you
And
know
that's
the
what I
way.
loved about those 5 days is that the teachings were, you say they were simple, but they were incredibly powerful to realize the way you present them. It's really very eye-opening to really understand how we function as spiritual beings having a human experience. And like you said, you insist a lot on the integration and the embodiment to the point that at the end of those 5 days, we know our path, we know our purpose, we know how to move forward, we know who we came here to be, we know how we can help. And like you said, be the children of truth, be devoted to our service and support the collective with our gifts. And that is so incredibly powerful, that process of merging with our soul.
Oh, I like the way you're saying
Yes.
that. You are a good guru.
Maybe. Something that we did at the retreat and that we have been doing together as well since, because you came and you taught a class, a workshop inside my mystery school. And so my students were really lucky to do a meditation with you. And because I have the recording, I have been doing this meditation over and over again. And it was a really powerful heart opening meditation. And for those who are listening to the podcast, you know I do meditations. I have recorded meditations and put them on this podcast as well. And so this is something that I'm not foreign to. But your meditations activated me in a different way because of the mantras you are using. And so, with the power of your words and the mantras you were using, there was truly a heart opening experiencing in the sense that I have had certain experiences where I felt the love come through and I was crying. But I have to recognize very honestly that yours were a whole other level. And every single time I do that meditation again, I have a very profound experience. I either cry or I start laughing because I realize life is just a cosmic joke. And then I cry again because I realize where I've let myself down and the love is coming to heal
Not
that.
cosmic joke, cosmic drama.
Cosmic drama. But one day I just couldn't stop laughing because I was like, this is just a joke.
Yeah, yeah,
And
true. I'm
so could
happy. I'm
you?
happy you are at that level.
Yes, it was incredible. If I could just laugh every day, it would be great. And so could you speak to the power of mantras and what is actually happening when these spoken words open us, activate us?
This is a bit secret.
Oh, I'm getting into
No,
secrets.
it's okay. Uh, Look, when you say something, okay, when you say something, let's say something that make you your the water of our mouth, the water of the saliva,
Or saliva, yeah.
the saliva come out because we really want to eat that food
Mhm,
or something.
mhm, mhm.
Remember what is the food that make you really want to eat. Uh, what is that? Apple? And not really. Steak or whatever. From one person to the other. What is in Indonesian? I know the food in general to make the people really want to eat that. But I don't know
Mhm.
in your culture what food make your saliva come out. If I
Oh, it
say
would
about
be different
steak,
for everyone, but we can imagine a delicious Italian penne con pesto or,
yeah,
delicious Italian meal,
okay. When
pasta.
you say that, it's connect to your brain, right?
Yeah.
When you say that, it's connect to your brain, and then it's connected to what you have experienced. Then it's reacted like that. And then the mantra, using that analogy, the mantra is actually, especially the mantra that I use, is not uh, the traditional mantra, especially when I try to connect with the people's soul. I use the language which the soul may understand.
Mm, light language.
So especially when that particular person, especially the more the reaction will they will be more responsive. Maybe that's the way to say it. They will be more responsive when they are already awakened.
Mm,
If they are not awakened, their mind, their mind might be more dominant, then they don't
mm,
understand. Maybe the soul hear that, but the soul is under control or dominated by the mind.
mm,
So there is no response. But for you, because you are already one, already merged with the soul, your heart already open. That might be the expression, the common, ordinary expression. Your heart is open. The spiritual term is you are merging with your soul. So it is the same. So and then you already surrender with that. When I'm saying that using the soul language, or you call it light language, okay, then you will react, and then especially when I connect, because I have my own department, you have your own department. When I connect to my higher self, it's depend which whose word I use,
mm.
whose words I use. That's will giving a special connection and communication. That's keeping the response. And that's will be kept as a secret because now we are at the level to be prepared the mass to have the heart opening, prepared for the awaken,
Yeah.
but not yet become the light. Prepare to open to the light, not
Mm-mm.
yet become a light. So this is still a secret, but later on, when people become a light in the what so called the golden age, because we
Mm-hmm.
are. I'm sorry to talk about this a little bit because not my belief, but I know from the guidance that I have from my spiritual guru. So we are in uh, the transition because we still experiencing the end of the Iron Age, and then we are already experience entering the Golden Age. So the
Mm-hmm.
energy, there is a collision, a strong current because of the end of the energy of the Iron Age. The majority of the darkness is there, and then now the light is coming. So that's created transition. Will be a lot happening on Earth soon, next year, I think.
Next
So we
year.
are also, yes, as informed. I cannot say anything because I was informed that and that and that and that. Sometimes, as you said, one of the drama is to make a joke. Sometimes that information can be a joke. Maybe to prepare us mentally so we are ready. Let's
So
see,
when you
let's
are
see.
saying you are being informed by your spiritual guru, I understand it as your own guides, the divine, your own deities that guide you. They are informing you that
Yeah,
2024 is going to be a year of great spiritual awakening because we are moving towards the golden
yeah.
age.
The awakening has been started from 1990 and getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And then the chosen people already clear, they will be awakened more and more. And then the year of 2024, those chosen people already quite ready. And now as the fruit, the big gong has started, I think 2024, 25 until 27, maybe. The, maybe started from Indonesia and then after that in any part of the world. What things can happen to make the people really respect themselves,
Mhm.
really back to have the discipline, because spirit is respectful, full with love, love each other. They know they are one, and then they are very disciplined. And what thing must happen to the human, to the earth, to make the people change drastically? That we just we use our intelligence. For me,
Yep.
a big thing when a big, really big thing. Be ready with that.
So when you are saying big things are going to happen, I am understanding both in a positive and in a quote unquote negative way from our human understanding, because these negatives are offering the awakening. There are opportunities for people to question their lives, to question the status quo. And this is what is inviting them to awaken, right?
I I think there will be many strange things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's say uh, and use, for example, the one that we already experienced together, the COVID first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The COVID we experienced worldwide, and then I see that as a collective learning to understand how important to have a healthy body. So everybody were forced to learn about how to make them survive, and then they have to be healthy. to be healthy, they have to have sufficient immunity. And then they learn about vitamin C, what is the source of vitamin C, and then the sun, light, so everybody forced to study that. And then also, beside that, people who work from home, uh, they learn Zoom. Zoom was already exists before that, and then not many people use Zoom. And after
Everybody
that,
knows Zoom now.
everybody use Zoom. So digital world is a world which we have to understand to be truly spiritual,
Mhm.
because science, light, the speed of light, the existence of light, high technology is about spiritual. Before, spirituality was understood quite limited. It's about healing. It's about seeing the future, seeing the past, mistake, which doctor. That's about little bit in the dark. Spirituality is about high technology, it's about science, it's about learning, it's about discipline, it's about what so-called modern. So don't wrongly translate the modern as Louis Vuitton, as luxury
Mm.
car, Mercedes. Not about that. Not about luxury life. Modernity is about how we live by understanding the purpose of life, by understanding our life. Modern is being efficient and effective doing our purpose on the earth. That is modern. Efficient, the most efficient, the most effectivity, that is modern.
So we've learned to take care of our physical bodies, and now we are going to be
Yes,
taught to take
that's in
care
the
of
COVID.
our emotional bodies.
Yeah, that's in the COVID. We learn about that, and then to learn about, and now we see what happened with the war.
Mhm.
The war background, why we have the war, it's not that complicated to understand that. The human rationality evolution is a way uh, higher than the complexity of the war. But it's become complex because humans are not evolved or developed enough in understanding their ego. And the war happened because of the ego complication, not because you don't understand to analyze what created the war. But why it's stuck like that? Because of the ego. You don't understand the ego. And the ego doesn't really develop because you don't have the heart opening. You don't understand the purpose of life. You think having a lot of money and then happy because of that. You having a lot of power, you can control people and then make you happy. That's really wrong. That's really wrong. Wrongly directed of life. So if you are clear with the purpose of life and you really make a life plan or agenda to go to that direction, then war may happen, from time to time, but it can be stopped easily also from time to time because everybody agree on the purpose, the true purpose. And then now, war can be very dangerous for us because the ego as the main factor.
Yep.
The ego is the darkest part in the human now because we don't understand our ego. How
Mhm.
much the people now in the world understand in this current civilization understand about ego. The word of ego used a lot. Oh, you are very egoistic. That is ego. What is ego? Is ego good or bad? You know? And this we need to really learn a basic structure of thinking, for example. Start from analogically. Fire, for example. If fire good or bad?
Mhm.
Let's start from a simple,
Yeah.
If fire good or bad, Then fire is good if we use for something to bake
Absolutely.
the meat, for example, to bake the cake, for example. But bad if it is uncontrolled and burn your house, for example. That is not good. So also water, and that it's also the same like the ego. If ego is good or bad, if people need to have ego or not. If you don't have ego, then you are not called human. The same like if you don't have the physical dimension, then you are not human. So if you have physical dimension, it is good or bad. So the question is not about good or bad. That is the reality. Become human, and then surely, if you have healthy body, then it is good. If you don't have a healthy body, it's just not good for you. Something like that. We are being developed. We are being developed. This war is actually is a collective learning moment also for the people,
Yeah.
especially the impact of the war.
Mm.
So if this war doesn't teach us a lesson, maybe there will be another catastrophe will come and be created by the universe. If we don't
Mhm.
learn, if we don't open our heart and learn from this, then maybe our higher guru, the human guru, will teach us a lesson.
Mhm.
Basically, the evolution cannot be stopped. The
Yeah.
evolution is just, you know, beside we are doing the what's so called the rotation, we are doing also the revolution.
Yeah.
Beside the Earth is doing the rotation on the axis, the the Earth also doing the revolution to the to the sun, and then beside doing the rotation and revolution, they are also going forward to the source, to the black hole, getting closer and closer. That's why the temperature of the Earth is keep increasing bit by bit
Mm.
because of that. Not because of the emission and everything, but it's good to be tied with that, so people will have more environment issues
Yeah. Yeah.
consciousness than nothing. So it goes towards the source, and then to the maximum, to the maximum. To the source is just like the evolution, our evolution, unavoidably we will go to the heart.
Mhm.
But for that, it's not easy. We have to break several shell,
Yeah.
several shell. The ego shell, to, and then to deepening the foundation of the rationality. We have to align the journey with our rationality, with our emotion, physically as well. Physically, if you don't know how to sit down in sukhasana position, for example, then you have to study a little bit of asana yoga to make sure you are quite flexible, something like that. We need to align physically as well,
Mhm.
align ourselves emotionally and so on.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing all of that. I would love to go back to those mantras and meditations that we were talking about because you mentioned light language, soul language. And so, for the people that are listening to my podcast, they know that I speak light language, the language of my soul, and that I record songs, and I have shared a few on the podcast. And I was really surprised when I realized that that was something that you were doing as well and encouraging others to do. And so I didn't know that when we were doing that meditation, it was actually the language of your soul that you were using. I thought it was Balinese because, I mean, I don't understand Balinese anyways. So I was like, I can't understand a word. That's probably what it is. So I'm very I guess, surprised or intrigued, or it makes more sense now. I understand it better why it was opening my heart so much. Can you speak a little bit about what is that soul language? Why do we suddenly start speaking it? What does that all mean?
To use a Sanskrit or to use Balinese is our tradition,
Mhm.
because I use this to speak to myself and then to speak to the people who they do understand that I'm citing the mantra to make them also understand what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And then if I use the Balinese speaking to you and speaking to your soul, maybe your soul doesn't understand. So
No.
what is the point to use the Balinese? So so luckily, if I go connect to my soul, then the soul language, and then because my department and my role, then I speak more than only one
Mhm.
soul language. So I speak. I don't know. I never count how many how many soul languages that I speak, but I think my department can adjust the language which used to almost every soul that I meet. Basically, is to awaken, to remind, come on, wake up. It's time for you to wake up and
Yes.
try to, if the soul, for example, asking a formula how to gain energy to be able to break the shell. So
Mm.
we will help. We will help, and then also to help the consciousness of the rationality, also to help the importance to open the heart.
Mhm.
So we are doing this in a both ways. The one from the human perspective or from the rational perspective, try to break the shell, for example, by doing yoga, that is concentration. And naturally, the problem or the misery in life is the most effective way in breaking the heart.
Mhm.
Break the heart, then you will have open heart. The problem, a natural problem, not the problem that I create or Guru Ele create. That is the invented, the artificial problem is through simulation, through team building. It's helped a little bit to inspire, but the real problem, which become to their heart, to make them really heartache, that
Yeah.
is the best eye-opening method. Sorry, break heart
Heart opening. Yeah.
opening method. Yeah.
That was
So that
definitely
is
true
very
for
much
me.
simple.
I was already on a spiritual path. I was already doing yoga. And then my heart got broken. I went through a divorce and it quantum leaped my journey and I changed my whole life. And here I am a few years later teaching about spirituality too.
Because the true life is not on earth,
Yeah.
right? This is only we are going to school. The true life is not in the school. But surely it's nice to be able to enjoy the life also in the school, right? If we know, especially if we remember on the time that we were at school, why we were feel a little bit like in the torture, in the hell in the school, actually we need to be prepared how to also be able to have fun and enjoy in the school, that must be created, so the people love to go to school. The learning process can be done in fun, this maybe need to be created later when we do understand what is actually the purpose of life. Then we know what kind of people who are good in teaching, who have a good passion to be a teachers. So to be a teachers is really a calling from the heart. They do understand the will in their heart. It's not because the opportunity to make money, but it is really a call to be a teacher, something like that.
Mhm.
If we talk
Absolutely.
that element.
So, for everybody that is listening and that is on that spiritual journey and that wants to merge more with their soul, start to live their purpose, what advice would you give them?
Look, first, we cannot push the evolution of the people more than it should,
Mm-hmm.
more than to the level than they can reach,
Mm-hmm.
because it's very much depend on their past karma.
Mm-hmm.
If you have enough energy, enough achievement to reach that, if you have enough energy and enough knowledge because of your past investment, past life investment, then to push them is a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, although those people really willing to learn, but it didn't have the achievement from their past life, it is not easy to push them.
Mm-hmm.
So for us in the soul school, it's good to those people who are in the level of being awakened, in the process of awakening. That time, Ella, when you join our soul school, you are already awakened. So you are already a guru. So you are trying to look, what is this? What is this retreat
But I'm
is
always
all
happy
about?
to learn.
Yeah, it's always happy to meet people who are already awakened, right? Because in that soul retreat, so I think for the soul school or the retreat that you will have, I would like to suggest those people who are in the process of awakening. Because if they don't, but it's good also if they are interested. But if they are not about in the same level, sometimes people having a jealousy, they are envious because they are expecting the same result. They are expecting the highest result possible, which may happen within among the group. So to avoid the situation like that, so I would like to suggest the soul school retreat that you will have is more specific for those segments, for those
Mm-hmm.
people who are really, really want to understand about themselves, really, really want, as priority now. And then for those who are in the process of awakening, and then they don't understand what is awakening, and then they feel that they have the symptom out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, for those who are listening, Ida Rsi is talking about a retreat that we are hosting in April in Canada, in British Columbia, in Squamish. And most people that are listening to my podcast are already awakened because
Oh,
otherwise they wouldn't be called to my teachings and to my podcast because
okay.
everything that I talk about on this podcast is already deeply spiritual.
Good. That's good.
And so,
Okay.
what would you advise those people who are already awakened and who might be interested in the retreat or to go on another spiritual retreat? What could they do until the month of April when we have that retreat or when they have another experience? What could they do to growth on their own journey?
I would like and always suggest those who are awakened this moment to have a community, to
Mm,
build a community, not to be alone, because your awakening is never stopped at the moment, because that is still in the process until several years ahead, you know, until, because we are the transition generation,
yep.
uh, not baby boomer or Gen Z or millennial. We are special chosen people, and then I don't know the number. There is a data mentioning 150,000 people out of 10 11 billion people on Earth. I don't know if that is true. Maybe more than that. So for those who are awakened, for example, you speak light language already, and you can see, you can heal, or something like that, you know that you have the soul. You understand that you have your heart open already. I always suggest to establish a family, a community, so you can share together. Because when you share, when you gather from time to time to have a regular meeting, if you don't have within your roots in the community, in the city, for example, in the town. Maybe you can have it with LA, for example, which is already you have in a group using Zoom, where your light can be bigger and the connection is a lot easier. And then the teacher above also happier to teach you and to give you the message to further develop the evolution, because the merging will keep happening. Will also influenced by the constellation of the planet and everything, the distance of the black hole as a source and our planet, that also influence. So we call it the time. The time will come and come closer and closer, and our process of evolution will, we cannot find it in a book. This is not a regular science. This is not a regular knowing. This is something very brand new. That's why, since the process is not easy, so it's good to have community. And also from time to time, why we are created like this, why we are chosen like this, why especially we come down to earth also again to be like this, and surely because there are things need to be done on earth, so prepare yourself, because to have this capabilities is surely for a purpose, not for just simple healing or reading people, it's not as simple as that, but this special awakening in this time is to do something for the civilization, to help to create a new civilization, which will be different from the current civilization which we are in.
Absolutely. Beautiful. So for those who are looking for community and who want to support this new civilization and really step into your true soul calling, if you feel that you have that mission, come and join us at the retreat in April. I will share more once I give you your time back at RSC. I will share more about the retreat on the podcast.
Yes, I'm ready. Beside the retreat, I'm ready from time to time. Maybe you come down to Bali, or
people can also come and see you in Bali.
Yeah.
Because you also host those retreats in Bali. You do those retreats in Bali every 3 months, right?
We have it every 2 months, but we stop from August.
Okay.
Until now, we stopped because there was an instruction. Stop it for the moment because I will be very busy doing that, and then I haven't planned to do in January or February. I haven't planned anything. Maybe we plan to make it easier, because we are just so busy until April or May.
Yeah.
So maybe we make it weekend, simple meeting on weekend or something, meeting several times, so it's separated, not gather in 5 days or something. We will think about that.
So we are so lucky to have this retreat then in Canada, in North America. If you are not doing it as much.
Hopefully it happened. Hopefully it happened. If there is nothing happen in this coming February, as I said, a lot of things will happen in the year 2000. Hopefully we are able to manage to fly to Canada. Hopefully, finger crossed.
What are you seeing that you are not saying, Ida Rsi?
What's that?
Are you seeing certain things that you are not saying about 2024?
Yeah, there is a possibility the big change started from February.
Okay.
Yeah, and then several places will be experiencing that. And then I don't know with Bali, how much Bali will be impacted because of that. How will be the flight? How will be the communication? Hopefully.
Are you sensing something similar to COVID or something different?
More to the earth things.
About the earth?
Yeah, more to the earth thing. Yeah. will be quite happy, quite happy, quite happy. April, February, April, and then from the time to come, will be a big change. That's why we have to prepare mentally, and then after February, then we may speak. It's not only happen to one place, will be many places on earth, many places on earth. Will be a good teaching, will be a good teaching to make the people understand the life structure, the kingdom of God, if God exists or not. So will be a massive and collective learning happening. Yeah.
How can we prepare ourselves?
Use your heart only, and
Mm.
this time human will be the same like COVID, really helpless, helpless. So in the COVID, very clear, those who are healthy uh, receive the bonus, and then those who are not healthy, then
Yeah.
they are become the victim, casualties. And then since now the teaching is, or the evolution, to push you to the heart, and those who have the heart will be the one who will receive the light.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then the frequency as well. I don't know what happened with the frequency. Those who have the frequency, those who have the heart opening, will feel the life is more comfortable for the coming years. If you don't have the heart open, then they will be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what, the same like the COVID, we never thought
Yeah.
this very micro virus can attack, can make the life is in trouble. And now the understanding is you don't have the heart, because without the heart, because that is the capacity, or that is the dimension which we miss in this civilization. Because that is a matter of the evolution or the journey of the human civilization. It's not a matter of something that we don't learn. We learn, we can read the book, we just don't understand because we don't get there yet. But massively now people are forced to understand their heart, to understand their capacity, that human are not like what they understand now. So this will force the people to be in the heart
Mm-hmm.
by force because of the evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's can be sad, can be sad, can be sad. That's
Can be
why it's good.
sad,
I don't know.
but
It can be sad.
can also be incredibly beautiful if we all drop into our hearts and support each other.
Theoretically, it's like that, but since the evolution is very much influenced by your past life achievement,
Mm.
so I cannot say also, the factor is how much the effort you put now, and then how much the modalities that you have in the past, to make the people also to understand that the life law is also the reincarnation,
Mm-hmm.
the samsara, the punarbhava, to understand that God is exists, and then Atma, you are being spirit, and karma pala law is there, and then reincarnation is there, the purpose of life, moksha or nirvana is there, to put this in on the surface again, the basic law, to make the people to be careful in life,
Yeah.
to be careful. You may be upset, you may be mad, you may be angry, but you know the limit, because
Yeah.
you do understand the purpose, something
Yeah.
like that.
What you are saying is also bringing up for me this idea that we all do the best we can, and depending on, like you said, the achievements and the evolution that we have already experienced in our past lives, we will be able to open our hearts more or less. And what this brings up for me, it's actually compassion, because sometimes I see people who struggle or who are self-centered, who or they are stuck in fear. And um, even though that can frustrate me because that is not how I would respond, what you just shared, it just helps me to have more compassion for those people, because truly they are just trying the best they can. And it's simply connected to our past lives. And when we have the understanding of how much our past lives truly influence the life we have now, it's like we have the bigger picture. We can see the whole puzzle instead of just looking at one piece of the puzzle and wondering why it's not connecting to the other pieces. When we understand our life, that it is so influenced by all those other lives we've had, we suddenly get a bigger picture and we can have more compassion for others.
Compassion. When we talk about compassion, it is a dimension which everybody, every human has. And then to have more compassion in the heart is very much depend on your level of your evolution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From time to time, uh, everybody have the compassion. I think animal also feel the
Mm-hmm.
compassion.
Yeah.
And then they have a lot of compassion, especially when they have a full stomach, especially when they well fed, and and they are given the attention sufficient, then they will have the compassion. And then the same like human, I think they will easily reach the compassion dimension if they're well fed, well taken care, not in the state of being emotional, uh, especially if your the frequency is little bit more to alpha close to theta. This is a little bit technical. Then you are already there. You are in the at the bank, at the edge of the compassion in terms of frequency. You have the love there in the frequency. You are at your heart, we call it. Then you feel that you have the love frequency in your heart. But now, how to use it? In what situation you use it? That's why we need to align that with our rationality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to reach the compassion and to use the compassion. When we have that compassion, how to use it? Because if we have a compassion, if we don't know how to use it, that can be dangerous for us. We become very vulnerable. We love to give and to give and to give, and we
Mm.
don't have enough money and just love to give.
Yeah.
So compassion is giving because you are done, because you feel that you think that you have enough already, and you want to give. So this need to be aligned with our rationality, the reality. The reality is on our rationality, how much money that we have, what can be given, you know. So this compassion also need to be understood, the character, and then to balance it with our rationality, to
Yeah.
balance it with our ego. So the compassion is an element which is good in combination with the other dimension that we have, which mostly the people in this civilization have. But if they don't have a well constructed and proportional rationality built in their rational dimension, in their mind, then spirituality also can be disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
Spirituality, compassion, the development of this element, if it is not well aligned or constructed rationality and how to manifest our care and love proportionally, that can be a problem. That's why when we develop the compassion, when we develop the other spiritual dimension inside, because not only compassion, because if we go to the higher dimension, we still have another three, at least, dimension that we can develop. Because you can see people, this is, you can travel using your spirit, something like that. If you don't have the ethic, if you don't have the ethic, you may know sometimes you get the information when the other people will die, for example. If you don't have the ethic, then life can be, being spiritual can be not convenient. Talking back to the compassion, compassion is very important, but we have to know how to harmonize it, how
Yeah,
to balance it, maybe in a simple word, with
yeah,
the fact of life, with the rationality, or in general with the ethic of life.
that's beautifully said. Thank you so much, Ida Rsi, for spending more than an hour with me. I don't want to take too much of your time. This
That's
was a
okay. I'm
really,
happy.
really interesting interview. I'm sure we could be talking about so much more. Is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners? Any words of wisdom? You have so much wisdom that you want to share, that you feel called to express. A last message for us.
Yes, the simplest one. Take a moment for your what's so called me time.
Mm.
Take a moment in a day for your time or me time. Do I don't want to call it meditation. It's serious, but for those who already know the meditation, uh, those who know that meditation is very important, or the benefit of the meditation, at least take a moment of your me time, and the meditation may be considered a little bit serious. You have to find special time, special place, special occasion for that. No, no. You just can simply close your eyes a moment and then smile with no reason. Close your eyes and smile with no reason. Thanks God for this life, because this life is a big blessing for you. You can learn a lot of things. Whatever your situation now, good or bad, you think from your ego or rational perspective, life is a big blessing. And then what we try to capture, what we try to learn in this life is about wisdom. And this life is always temporary. We don't know when we will finish the contract in this life. Can be today, can be this evening, can be tomorrow, next week, next month. We don't know. It will just happen. Since we
Yep.
don't know when, be happy now. When you close your eyes and smile, that mind construction is to be present.
Mm.
Enjoy the moment. Close, appreciate yourself. Only you make yourself happy. Although
Mm.
whatever the situation that you face, because life is just like that, upside, you know, up and down, fluctuated. Life is always like that, because if life is not like that, that would be called life. You know, it's just like a generator is turning like that. Life is just day and night, never day only, never night only. It's just change, day and night, day and night. It's always change, it's always move. So take a moment, close your eyes and smile. Thank you, God. Thank you, myself. And then the happiness is mine. Maybe
Mm.
that's the basic sharing that I can share at this
I
moment.
love that. Thank you so much. We are all going to close our eyes, smile, say thank you to God, and thank you to you, Ida Rsi.
Thank you, LA. Thank you, thank you. It's nice to see your smile. One of the best smile, one of the sweetest smile.
Yes, I have a Colgate smile, my friends always say.
Yeah, oh yeah. See? Thanks God that you
Yeah,
have a
thank
good
you,
smile.
God, for this beautiful smile I received.
And thank you, God, I can see your smile. It's
Mm.
inspiring. It's
Yes,
contagious.
yes.